Hey, loves, welcome back. My name is Kyle August, and I just want you to know that you can manifest your specific person in 24 hours. All you need is a day. You technically don't even need that long to manifest your specific person because everything you could ever imagine and want is alive within you right now. And if you haven't known or you haven't been following the channel, we actually recently did a 24-hour challenge where you're going to manifest the most that you absolutely possibly can with your specific person in 24 hours. And really, you have nothing left to lose, but the results are back in, and you guys have absolutely blew everything out of the water. What seemingly was just some no out of the ordinary challenge, you guys manifested some crazy stuff. So including woke up to messages the next day, specific person asking them out, changed from friends to boyfriends, manifested 2-hour phone calls, more communication, texted. Someone manifested being called from 5 months of no contact. Just think about that. Going from 5 months no contact, beginning this challenge, and then receiving a phone call from your specific person. It's absolutely crazy. And I'll give you some of those successes kind of later on in the video. I want to discuss them. But I also wanted to give an idea that I was recently thinking about because of this 24-hour challenge that can help you completely get rid of this aspect of time and really live in this mindset that you can manifest in 24 hours. Really, what is stopping you, right? Because everything, as I mentioned, is already live within you. You already have your specific person. And this example is going to basically show that. So if I were to ask you right now, if it's not 24 hours, if you're like, 24 hours kind of seems too hard, when do you feel you can manifest your specific person? What's a proper timeline for that? Okay. And maybe you say a year, maybe you say 6 months, maybe you say 1 month, maybe you say a couple weeks. Get in your mind whatever that is. You don't have to be optimistic. You don't have to be positive. You don't have to be anything extra. Just when do you think it makes the most sense for your specific person to show up in your life? Okay? Literally, if you're watching this, pause it, think about it. You don't have to think about it too hard because usually a time comes into mind. Or if you're like, I don't know, infinity, never, really dive into your mind and start thinking about it. When does it make the most sense for you to be with your specific person? Okay. Again, if you say 10 years, that's okay. Because I'm going to collapse that entire time right here and right now in this video. So pick that time. Okay. And again, I'll give you, if you're like, I feel like it's never or 10 years, after I show you all the screenshots from the success stories, you're going to think so much differently. So pick that time, 10 years, a year, a month. Okay. And then I want you to ask, or I'm going to ask you and I want you to respond with, what's going to be different? So what is different in 10 years, in a year, in 6 months, in 1 month, in a week? What is physically different in your reality between you, your specific person, or things around you? And I want you to think about that. Okay. What would be different? Maybe you're like, I'll have another job. I'll talk to them more, right? And now that I'm asking you this, your mind is probably running a little blank, right? Like oh my gosh, what is going to be different? There isn't going to be anything different. Or maybe like I'll be out of school, or they'll be this, they'll have gotten over their ex or the third party, or we're going to have all these ideas. And so I want you to think about that. Okay. Think about all those ideas that you feel need to happen in between. And this video isn't about like those ideas specifically, but those are called conditions. So we're basically conditioning our manifestation. It can't happen until blank. And so there's a way right now to get rid of all these. So if you didn't see the awesome, amazing success in 24 hours, that you can right here and right now. Okay. So think about that point in time. And then I want you, think of the date today. Okay. Now I want you to pretend just for fun, right now, it is not today's date. It is now the date of whenever you chose. Okay. So whether it's 10 years, so it's 2034, or a year, 2025, or whenever, 6 months, 1 month, whenever that date is, it is now that date. Okay. How do you feel? Do you now have this ability to then manifest your specific person, or does it feel the exact same as you have right here and right now? And most of the time, because the reason that we actually create this distance in between is because we are actually, I don't want to say fearful of success, but we don't feel as if we could do it. because then it can come into the only reason we're actually putting time is because we feel we need to get ready for it, but you're already ready. Because if you said, I'm going to manifest on February 24th, 2034, right? 10 years from now, do you feel any different? Are you just as close to your manifestation as you've always been? And you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, yeah. It didn't matter about those conditions. It doesn't matter about anything. It doesn't matter about being in school. It doesn't matter about money. It doesn't matter about past. It doesn't matter about your specific person doing this or that, because everything is just an illusion. Because why can't, let's say, for example, a third party. Okay, why can't your specific person right here and right now totally just in this amount of time that we're talking completely have a revelation and get over the third party, right? That is literally something that can happen in this current moment. So, and hopefully this is making sense, because it's what I want to basically get into our mind is that we're not going to be different. We're going to have just as much accessibility to your manifestation right now as you will be in 10 years or 6 months or 1 month or 1 week. So you basically, by whatever date you're picking, you're choosing that, okay? And so then we realize also, and maybe you're already thinking this, when we think about pushing or moving to that date. So let's say you think you're going to manifest by next week. What's different about next week as compared to today? And sometimes, and I know it's a little unfortunate, but we actually try to push off this burden of change because we ourselves need to become someone different, right? If we feel single, we need to move out of this single state into a loving and abundant state. That's the difference, right? And so sometimes we use time to push away from that. We're like, oh, future me will do that. Because I want you to give I'm going to give you an example in this way. What if you wanted to start a diet, okay? And you're like, oh, I'll start the diet or I'll get my 6-pack next month. I'll start it next month. What? If someone came up to you and said that, what would you say to them? You would be like, well, what's the problem with right now, right? Like what's going to change? What's going to be different than now as compared to a month? And in this example, we know for a fact that we are specifically in this case trying to push off this burden of change, okay? And so that's something that we want to avoid at all costs, right? Because then you know for a fact, so I know it and you know it now too, that you can manifest right here and right now. It's just this burden of change or this kind of internal kind of stress or worry that's kind of pushing us away from this. And so this is what I want to unlock within you. And the whole point of the video, you can manifest in 24 hours. You absolutely can. And again, I'll go into these success stories that I mentioned earlier that are really, really going to showcase this. But I wanted to begin by thinking about this. Again, if let's say it's whatever date you said that you're going to manifest your specific person, what's going to be different, right? And we're going to say nothing internally, right? Nothing. It's all going to be this external stuff. But is that going to change us from feeling of being single into a feeling of being in a relationship, right? And that's like also, which kind of goes into, it goes almost too into depth, but sometimes we also think like things externally are going to like provide us with the happiness or confidence that we need, but you already have it, literally. Think about money. How many people, strive to get all this money only to realize that it had nothing to do with happiness at all? Think of the example of King Midas, right? Who convinced and hassled with the gods to then give him the power that everything he touched turned to gold. Okay. But what happened? I think you guys know exactly what happened. Figuring this out, because thinking, oh my gosh, I'll be the most wealthy person ever. I'll be so happy. His goal was happiness. He thought it came through money and gold. But what happened? We find him unalived with a bunch of gold plates and gold food around him because he couldn't eat. Because every time he tried to drink wine or eat some fruit, it turned to gold. And so in that case, our mind is connecting these external things to our success, but it actually has nothing to do with our success. It's actually the happiness, the love, the internal state that you have access to right now that creates the success. And that's why as soon as I was putting out the challenge of the 24-hour challenge, I was like, people are gonna all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like even the individual with 5 months of no contact, people are just gonna all of a sudden just manifest like crazy, even with a bunch of kind of like previous circumstances, things like that. You're just going to move it instantly out of it, because then we have this challenge, and then we are forced to kind of let go of everything kind of in between us and our goal. Again, whatever you feel is the difference between right now, and if the date said February 24th, 2034, what would be the difference, right? Our internal state is always under our control. External things would change, but just like King Midas, the external things don't mean anything. We could totally refuse all of that from our internal state. So meaning, and hopefully this isn't like confusing, but meaning then, we always have the ability to change ourselves internally at any point in time. And so really quickly, before I dive into these success stories, I know I was doing a giveaway with, I was picking 10 random people of these awesome, cool success stories, and then join me each week for the next 4 weeks in like a weekly coaching, group coaching giveaway. And I can't thank you guys so much. You guys, you guys sent me so many success stories. So again, I want to say I might not be able to respond to every single person. I wanted to send at least everyone who responded like a workshop or a workbook or something. Just know I absolutely appreciate all the time and effort, and I love all of the time that you took to just send me those success stories or comment, and because I can't tell you how much it helps me. So I love hearing all your success stories, but then think about all the other people that you help as well with the comments on the videos. Like, you gave hope to so many people. If you commented even signs, synchronicities, text calls, whatever, you gave hope to so many people. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. And also, I did respond to, because it's so hard. It's like, I think it's, I need, maybe, no, I was gonna say I need to stop doing these giveaways because it's so hard to pick who to kind of join, because I want everybody to join in it. I'm like, let's work together. I want to work with every single person that responds. So it was really, really, really hard for me to do this. So if you were not chosen for this giveaway, that's okay. I always wanted to do one each and every month. The reason I didn't do one for like earlier in February, because it was Valentine's Day and I had the 14 days of love, which I was doing all this crazy stuff. So again, thank you for your patience, and absolutely do not feel disheartened if you were not chosen, because there's always next month. So now that I kind of, because I didn't mean this video to be this long, so now I'm going to put up the first success story. So this was someone who commented, and we're going to fly through these really, really quick because I think they're going to be really, really cool, but I'll add my commentary. So hi, Kyle. After watching your original video on the challenge, all I did was say out loud that I was going to win it, and spent that afternoon feeling loved. Like you said, I went to sleep affirming SP is my BF. When I woke up, I had 2 messages from him from the night before. It said, hey, and come see me this week. That's absolutely awesome. I replied on Tuesday, and he wanted to see me that same day. Mind you, that was 2 months of no contact, and since I last saw him. So they've been chatting ever since. So think of that 24-hour jump or challenge. So I totally forgot too. This wasn't even the 5 months of no contact one. So 2 months of no contact, got into the state. The next day, they manifest exactly what they want. That is just absolutely fantastic. And so this next one, they wrote, okay, I'm back after 24 hours. I want to say this really works. My SP asked me out. We are going on a date this weekend. Even joking that they don't even need the coaching at all. Just to let you know, you guys follow what he's saying. I love this. I love this. So literally 24 hours. They created manifested a date. Literally, that's all it needs. I know a lot of people, again, with this concept of time, hopefully this idea earlier really, really pushed out of this, but time doesn't matter, right? This can happen to you. Don't feel disheartened about these, because this is you. You can, no matter what you think. So I know, because sometimes people are like, success stories make me kind of feel really disheartened. And other people are like, oh my gosh, I love the success stories. They get me so motivated. Use this to motivate you. Align and associate with this individual, because you can think whatever you want. You can feel down. You can feel desperate. You can feel negative. That's not going to change the power that you have to change your reality. No matter how you're feeling, you always have the power to manifest exactly like all of these other people are doing. And you are going to be one of them. So yes, I'm talking to you. You're going to have a 24-hour success story that I'm going to put in a video and dedicate it totally to you. So next, I thought this one was really, really cool because it was a continuation, or like pushing through or out of a previous event. So they said, I had a guy tell me he just wanted to be friends with benefits, and then affirmed all night that he was my boyfriend. Literally the next day, he changed his mind and is now my boyfriend. Think of how cool and awesome that is. But this is just what happens when you persist and when you push, regardless of what is happening in your external reality, okay? Because your external means nothing, okay? We have this like cycle, right? We assume it gets reflected. And then if we assume something not so good, so friends with benefits, we can stop that. We can just say, you know what? Screw it. I'm not allowing this thing in my external reality to influence my ideas, and literally just continue with our assumption, and we can see it change overnight. Then lastly, I actually had more success stories to do. But I realized how long I'm making this video and I don't want it to be kind of too long. So here's the last one. So they said, I'm in. My old SB called me out of the blue after almost 5 months of no contact. I had given up. So think about that. If someone, what circumstances are stopping you from manifesting your specific person? If there were people in like friends with benefits, 5 months, 2 months of no contact, everything you could ever imagine. And we could even dive into, maybe I'll even get more information on each of these individuals and really dive into their circumstances and what was going on in their reality. Because you have the power to change everything you could ever want. It is, I can't tell you enough that it does not matter what is happening around you. Time doesn't matter. Your time is just in relation to your assumptions. Because remember what we mentioned about the concept of time, of what if we just jumped to this future event, this future time in which you were just magically, it was the date that you said my specific person can be with me. What would be the difference between that and right now? And I bet you're going to say that there is not much difference. It's all internally. Like we're like, oh, now I will allow myself to feel into the end state to manifest my specific person. So why not just do that right here and right now? But thanks again. I'm going to be doing more challenges. If you guys absolutely love this challenge and you are manifesting your specific person in 24 hours, leave a thumbs up on this video and comment, time does not... How should we word this affirmation? Because I recently had an affirmation of like, time doesn't manifest for me, I do. But let's comment, I am making massive changes with my specific person in 24 hours. So that's going to be the affirmation. So comment, I am making massive changes with my specific person in 24 hours. Or I am making massive changes with my specific person in the quickest time ever. And again, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video. If you did have any questions or comments on this, leave them down below. Also, you can send me a personal message at kyleaugustcoaching.com where you can reach me personally. Again, I wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who had responded and sent me messages. I literally wanted to pick every single person. So I'm going to keep in mind everyone who did send me a success story for the next giveaway. So don't forget, don't fret. If you feel like, oh, I really wanted to be in or manifest this, this awesome coaching. Remember too, in the meantime, you can always hop into my member lives that I have every single weekend. So tomorrow we're going live at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I've been trying to do a guided meditation every single day for my members. So hopefully that helps out massively. Again, I wanted to say thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow.